What is going on YouTube? J Rod's Exotics here. I want to make this video about this aquarium as I'm relatively new to the hobby and just doing research. A lot of questions were answered and a lot of questions were left unanswered. So I kind of want to do this as a do's and don'ts video. Like I said, I'm relatively new to the hobby. I've made a couple mistakes, I've learned from mistakes, and I just want to share with you guys what worked and didn't work. So here we go. Now, what we have here is a 29-gallon tank I got from Petco. In it, as you can see, it is heavily planted and it is relatively overstocked. As you can see here, we have a little pleco. There's 2 glass catfish. There are 5 red-eye tetras. I believe on last count there are 9 black neon tetras. There's some mystery snails. There are a bunch of ram's horn snails. And I have these 2 dwarf neon gouramis that get along relatively well, unless they're chasing each other around. I just fed them, so they are a little riled up. But I just want to give a little history before I get into where we are now. Before we get into that, totally forgot to mention, on top of all the other fish in here, there are several neon tetras. I want to say there's between 12 to 15 in there. Also at the bottom, you see these little ball things. They are from Phillips Fish Works, scud balls. Excuse me. I just want to add some microfauna, help break down decaying plant material, you know, any food left over, and kind of get a population of microfauna going in this tank. I think that would be really cool. For filtration, I do have a sponge filter in the back there, as well as a hang on the back filter I got when I got the tank. It's rated for 40 gallons. Don't remember what the it's an aquarium, you know, the Petco brand. Nothing special, but you know, with how stocked this tank is, I figured a little more filtration won't hurt. Now, the clips you're about to see are from the second day I had the aquarium up until the present, which covers about 7 weeks. I am new to the hobby, as I said, so when I bought the aquarium, the employees at Petco sold me several products. Those products included API Quick Start and API Stress Coat. So they basically said, hey, you know, you don't have to cycle the tank. You could just put this stuff in and put fish in 2 days later. So that is what I did. As you saw in the first clip, I started with a goldfish. I don't think he liked my 78-degree water. Seemed very stressed, kind of swimming very fast all around the tank. So I quickly gave him to a friend, and you know, I started off with glowfish, neon tetras, and black tetras. The glowfish were very nippy. Even though they're tetras, they were just nipping at each other and all the other fish in the tank. So I gave those to another friend. So as you can see, you know, I added more plants. I added the floating plants about 2 weeks into the tank. And then the pothos I added after a month. The first couple of weeks, I had pretty high ammonia readings, and I was doing big water changes 1 to 2 times a week. A lot of the fish did not show any stress. I did have a female beta in this tank initially who did pass away, and that could have been from the ammonia. However, none of the other fish showed any signs of ammonia stress. So, I was told neon tetras are usually the first to go, um, and I only lost two the initial introduction. Um, Now, going back in time, would I do it again? No, I would probably add far fewer fish than I did. I think I added probably 15 fish all at once to this 29-gallon aquarium. So definitely a shock to the system. Um, I think one thing that saved me is that my pH has been very low from the start. I don't know why. Um, the substrate in this tank is fluval stratum, a pretty thick layer of it, followed by the cheapest aquarium gravel I can find. Um, my pH hovers around 6 to 6.2, and I live in the Northeast. My tap water comes out right at 7, so I'm not sure why my pH is so low, but I think it helped save this aquarium just with how overstocked it was from the get. I do feed them every 2 days or so, just so I'm not overfeeding and causing more ammonia to build up in the tank. Um, I continue to add plants here and there. Um, the pothos in the tank I added about a month into having the tank. Um, and since then, it did take about a week to acclimate, but it has just exploded. Every time I look at it, there is a new leaf or a new vine popping out. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it is helping in cleaning the water or filtrate it. Now I do get little ammonia readings here and there, but they're so small. And with the pH being what it is, that ammonia is quickly turned into ammonium, which, from what I've read, is a lot less toxic to fish than ammonia. Uh, so that brings us to the present day. So here we are today. This tank, as of today, is 7 weeks old. Is it cycled yet? I don't know. I got very tiny nitrate readings, just minuscule. I get 0 nitrites, but I still get a very low ammonia reading. Now, again, my issue or non-issue, for whatever reason I haven't figured out yet, the pH in this tank is very low. I have an API master test kit, and I get readings right around 6. The fish seem to be thriving. The plants seem to be thriving. So it's not really an issue. And what I've learned through research is that ammonia is much less harmful the lower your pH is. So the ammonia was never a big issue to begin with in terms of what the tank looked like, how my fish behaved. Again, I don't know why my pH is so low, but that's just the way it is. It could be the plants. These plants are just exploding. As you can see, this Amazon sword was one of my first plants in here, and it is just growing exponentially. I also added all of these pothos. This is actually one plant broken up, and there's been a lot of new growth. That leaf is relatively new. This leaf is just opening up, and then we have this little guy that just came about a couple of days ago. And like I said, the growth is just insane. Now these plants do feed off ammonia, depending on the source you're looking at. Some say, especially the pothos, don't like nitrates at all. They prefer ammonia. Now, with how heavily stocked this tank is, there is no shortage of ammonia, I can tell you that. I do feed them every other day, and they are ravenous. Not much gets to the bottom. As I showed earlier, there is one pleco in here, and there are 2 Cory catfish hiding somewhere on the bottom of this tank. So if I don't see much food making it to the bottom, I do drop in an algae flake or 2 just to make sure they are getting something. But other than that, that's it. So tell me what you guys think. Depending on the response I get from this, I may post more often. And let me know what you guys want to see. If you want updates, if you want more content, just leave it in the comments below. Thank you.